Hello, everyone. Welcome to Fancast Friday. Here we are. We are here to discuss the wonderful character of Johnny Blaze, aka Ghost. Well, I don't know if he's a wonderful character, but he is a pretty great character, and you guys wanted to see it, so here we are. We are going to be doing fan casting for Johnny Blaze. So, welcome to the chat, guys. I see Tony, Monique, and Ron in the chat. Lovely to see you all. So, yes, obviously, we had our poll once again this week, a proper poll after, tons of iffy things, but that's neither here nor there. Let's quickly get started by showing off our Fancast Friday poll. So with this, here we go. MCU Ghost Rider was the top choice by a wide margin. Half of you voted for MCU Ghost Rider, while Adria Arjona in the DCU, even though the only probable choice is Wonder Woman, because duh. But hey, that was the second option. So we are going to be seeing her again, and please give us some more. Please give us like really good suggestions, because Dan, when he's in charge of these polls by himself, we usually get pretty bad options, i.e. the tier list Tuesday one that I'm going to show you at the end of the show. But indeed, let us begin. I think enterprising, that is a perfect way to say let's truly begin. Now, I am going to get rid of the music because I hate the music. Terrible music. Anyway, so we're casting Johnny Blaze because the reason I want to accentuate Johnny Blaze is because Robbie Reyes already has technically been in the MCU. He was on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. for a couple episodes for an arc, and so we did see him. And so we already technically have a Ghost Rider in the MCU, but with the upcoming soft reboot that's going to be happening, in addition to maybe that's not the character they want to go with, maybe they want to go with the original. So obviously we will be discussing who the original should be if they want Johnny Blaze. Now, he has appeared in a couple other films from Nick Cage, and he might be on the list. Maybe not. We'll see. But of course, Caleb says Jared Leto and Pedro Pascal as Ghost Rider, even though Pedro Pascal was already Mr. Fantastic. But sure, we're gonna get it. We'll fucking get into that soon enough. But first, let's get into the most obvious choice, the man on the very front of the thumbnail, because he's the most popular fan casting for Johnny Blaze. That's Norman Reedus. Yes, the man is, believe it or not, the man is in fact 56 years old. I had to do a double take because goddamn, I did not think that was the case. Honestly, I agree with that. That would have been amazing. That's true. That's true. You know what? You need to communicate with me, because the stuff you picked for fucking Tier List Tuesday was like, what the hell is he thinking? Goddamn. Anyway, so Norman Reedus. Well, the thing is, I don't know if they're still filming or not. So if they are, cool. If they're not, then here it is. That is true. That is true. But Norman Reedus, the man has been a popular fan casting for years. For years, the man has been so popular. There's so many people have wanted Norman Reedus as Johnny Blaze for at least the past decade and a half, ever since probably the Walking Dead premiered. But maybe in the eyes of the MCU, they want to maybe try and go with younger people, unless you're like an older character. But Johnny Blaze isn't usually like a super old character, so we'll see. But he has proven to be perfect for the role. Daryl Dixon is essentially that type of character, the grit, but he kind of has like a little bit of like a heart of gold-ish, but he has like a lot of the gritty darkness needed for the character. But he's more hero and slash anti-hero than villain, hence why he separates from the rest of them. So Johnny is indeed immortal. Yes, that is definitely the case. And he has some comic book movie pedigree. Blade 2. He was annoying in that, but he does have some, honestly, That's the first casting choice you said so far that I can actually kind of agree with, but the only trouble is that he's way too old now. Um, Johnny plays Johnny Depp, holy macaroni and cheese whiz. Um, but the problem is with being 56 years old, that might be too old. And the thing is, there is possible scheduling conflicts with Daryl Dixon because I think they're still filming the final season. So if they do, in fact, do it soon, then scheduling conflicts. But if not, then he's definitely free to do it. Um, you know, but with all of this, in terms of likelihood, we always try to do the likelihood. I'm going to give him a let him cook. Gonna give him a let him cook. I don't think he's gonna be the guy they want. He's been fan casted a little bit too long, and unlike James Gunn, he doesn't tend to use fan cast. MCU doesn't tend to use fan castings all that much. So it seems like he would be really good, but I don't think the MCU would want him. But I think he has the acting ability. I think he has the style. I think he has the personality to make this work, and I think he would be great for the role. Um, you know, so I would say let him cook. Now we get into the more different iterations that unfortunately I couldn't find good fan art for it, but I tried. But next one is Boyd Holbrook. And now with Boyd Holbrook, he has proven many a times that he is a formidable threat in many films and shows as heroes and villains. He has appeared in comic book projects beforehand, which include Donald Pierce in Logan and the Corinthian in The Sandman. So he definitely has some pedigree there. And then he has that level of grittiness, like he has that hardened vibe to it, but he also has like a sick sense of humor, especially with Donald Pierce. Um, I think this would be I think this would be you know, I think this would be awesome. But the thing is, he could have possible scheduling conflicts with the morning show again if they decide to do it sooner rather than later, and he might not be interested in the role. But I think Boyd Holbrook, he has since proven that, like, yeah, he was in kind of like some not great movies and earlier in his career. He has since proven that he would be awesome in the role. Got the grittiness, got the acting ability, he's got the face for it, he's got the vibe for it, and I think he would be really. I know it's like ironic he's got the face, even though he's just a flaming skull, but I think that I think that would be awesome. Thank you, Enterprising. I think he would be really awesome for the role. Now, in terms of um now and the thing is with Boyd Holbrook, he's done equal parts TV and movies, so he could definitely handle a movie if they do decide to go with that again, but it's unlikely because I think with their more supernatural, weirder characters, they're sticking to TV. So he could definitely man both. He could TV is more problem. The guys I chose here were definitely like not too popular with the exception of one, but not too like totally unknown that they would be like out there and weird. Um but yeah, I think this would be awesome to see. And in terms of a probability, again, I don't think they would go for him. So I think he would be better than Norman. I think he'd be more likely than Norman Reedus, but I still don't think he would be there. But I think he's a woo baby. That's what I'm talking about. I think he would be up there. I think, and the only trouble is that he might not be interested, but he might be. That's the only major thing because I think scheduling conflicts in this day and age are like not as big as one would think. So I think I think it's a 9. I think he's definitely up there and probable for the role, whether they go for TV or movies. So I think Boyd Holbrook is definitely a exactly. I was trying to go with like guys wearing leather jackets, like cool, like biker gear, and this was the best thing I could get. So I'm glad you like it. That's what I was trying to go for. Unless you're being sarcastic, but I'll just take it as you were being genuine. But yeah, so Boyd Holbrook is my second choice for a Johnny Blaze ghostwriter. And then next up is Travis Fimmel, aka Ragnar Lothbrok from Vikings. He's around the perfect age for the role. I think they would try to choose someone like early to mid 40s. I think that makes more sense, especially with how young Robbie Reyes is. And I think they mentioned Blaze at some point in Agents of Shield or something else. So I think Johnny Blaze does exist somewhere. And he's proven to be a really great gritty actor. Again, kind of similar to Boyd Holbrook. He has that grittiness. He has that like just that face. Even though he's like nice and smiling and kind here, I think like he just has that 1,000 yard stare that would be like perfect for someone like Ghost Rider. Again, that grit that is needed. And um, as I was saying, I wasn't sure if they were gonna go like who knows what they're gonna go with. Again, Ghost Rider, I think, is far from MCU's like ideas of characters they want to do. Um, um, but thank you. I think you're M2G. Hello, M2G. Nice to see you. Thank you, Tony. I appreciate it. Honestly, I wouldn't hate it because I feel like that's more to his sensibilities than the Big Blue Boy Scout. But um, we'll get indeed. I think so too, Monique. I think so too. But the thing is, he's mainly a TV actor, so if they do decide to go with like a big budget blockbuster, I don't think he would be the guy for it, especially with the last one he did, which was Warcraft. But it could be possible scheduling conflicts with Dune Prophecy. Unlikely, but that I always like to throw scheduling conflicts in there just in case. And the thing is, he was the lead in Vikings. He's one of the leads in Dune. He's been the lead in a lot of stuff, so he can be the lead in something, and I think that would really work, and I think he would do a really good job. Um, you know, yeah, I know most people were. But yeah. But Travis Fimmel, I think he's up there. I think he's a nice. I think he would be not like the most perfect choice, but I think he could do a lot of great things with the character that would be awesome and a lot of fun. So with that, I think Travis Fimmel would be a very good choice for the role. Next up, we have Austin Butler, who was on the thumbnail. And the thing is, the reason I went with Austin Butler is because he's done, as it shows in the pros, he has worked a wide range of roles and a wide range of film. Like he's done Elvis, he did Caught Stealing, he fucking did Ned's Declassified as a kid. Like he's done so many different roles under so many different, and he's done them very well. Like again, the Bike Riders is where this image is from, and I think he has the proper amount of grittiness and darkness needed for the role of Johnny Blaze. And on top of the fact he's much younger, so if they do want a younger Johnny Blaze to like grow into the role over a franchise, he can do that. But the thing is about Austin Butler, honestly, he's too good for it. Like he's way too good of an actor to just delegate himself to the MCU. That's kind of why Glenn Powell is kind of avoiding the MCU because he's just like, I don't want this to curse my career. And I don't think Austin Butler will either. It's just like he's done too many great movies. He's done a lot of like highbrow projects that I don't think I just don't think you know, personally, I don't think he would be and to be fair, he also has allegedly been wanted for another Marvel role with Gambit, who I can also see him as. He was rumored for that at some point, but I think that's off the table now. And the thing is, he's most likely not interested in big franchise material because he's done mainly like indie projects or Oscar bait films or stuff like that. So I think yeah, that's entirely possible. Maybe he could do that, and money always talks, as Dan says. So, um, um, what? Um, I think. Thank you for that. He is probably the best case scenario. Um, but uh, but yeah, I think. And he also did Dune. Definitely. And guys, go vote in the horrible tier list Tuesday poll that Dan put up. Um, Yeah, so personally, Austin Butler, I don't think. he would be interested. So I'm going to go with even odds. I think he would be really, really great for the role, but I don't think he's at all like interested. So hence that kind of evens itself out. So I'm going to go with a 5 for him. I'm going to go with a 5 because I think that makes sense. I really don't think he's interested, especially someone like Ghost Rider. But on top of that, I think he would be very good for the role. And then my final choice is Theo James. With Theo James, he has since proven to not just be a good-looking heartthrob himbo kind of guy like he was in the Divergent series. Um, and with that, he has played a lot of darker characters recently. The Gentleman on TV and the Monkey in the movies, even though he himself was not exceptionally dark in that movie, he played like a very good, like strangely weird, psychological, fucked up kind of character. And I think that like those differences in terms of what he's done in the past to what he does now, I think that works. And he's currently in a Marvel project with X-Men 97. He plays Bastion. So he has some comic book pedigree there. And I think he has since proven himself as an actor. And I think he would be really great. Yes, point and laugh. Um, that's true. I could definitely see that. I could definitely see that. Um, I could see that as well. I think he doesn't have like the face for it, but again, remember, it's gonna be mocapped CGI'd anyway. Most of the time it's gonna be a skeleton on fire. So I guess like it that doesn't really matter. James Theo is pretty good. Thanks, Caleb. Really appreciate that. But the thing is, he might not at the end of the day, he might not be interested, even with that for that Marvel money. And maybe he wants to stay away from big franchises after Divergent failed. So and he might have some scheduling conflicts with the gentleman. So that's fair. That's fair. I'm just saying, like, it's mostly a skull and fire. Um, but yeah, in terms of the likelihood meter, I think it's another I think it's nice. I think that and let him cook. I think it's like a 7.5, not quite as great as Norman Reedus, but I think he's a little bit more likely. So that's why I kind of picked that. So now we go back to do our initial choices. The first choice is Norman Reedus, the go-to guy, even though probably a decade ago he would have been better. Then you have Boyd Holbrook, Travis Fimmel, Austin Butler, and Theo James. Those are my main choices for the Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider. Now, with that, we have to get into honorable mentions. Honorable mentions, Nick Cage. Why don't you bring him back? Like, I think he would be open to it. Yeah, he's a little bit older now, but I think he would be awesome for it. And fold it into the whole MCU. Think, fuck it, might as well. They're already doing the same thing with X-Men, and you know what? Screw it, have him in there. Then Keanu Reeves. I think he would be great for the role. However, he does not want to join the MCU. He doesn't want to join Star Wars. He doesn't want to do any of that. And mad respect for him for that, but I think he would still be awesome for the role. And then Charlie Hunnam. I think he would be good. Not the best choice for the role, but I think he would be pretty good. So yeah, those are my honorable mentions. Like, good choices, but I think there are better choices out there, like my 5 picks. But yeah. Now what we are gonna do is we are gonna go over your guys' picks for Fancast Friday. Sure. But then enterprising, he liked Boyd and Austin the most. Nick, it was not a fake out because he was right there. He was an honorable mention. He was mentioned. There you go. Um, but no, he's not. He would be a horrible Green Arrow. He's too bulky. He's not funny enough. Um, exactly. 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 Hence why he's only an honorable mention. I'm like, he would be fine, but I think one, he's too old, and two, I think there are much better choices for the role. So now we're gonna get into your guys' choices, which Acres of Movies wasn't here, so he could, or no, he was here. He just didn't do as many as other. But somebody enterprising mentioned Tom Hardy. Again, like maybe 10, 15. Again, we're just going with the entire cast of the bike riders at this point. Austin Butler, Boyd Holbrook, Tom Hardy, just the entire cast of the bike riders at this point. But I could see Tom Hardy. It's just I don't think he would. I think he's way too good for the MCU at this point. So um, but he also did do Venom, so he's not too good for that. However, I just think I can't imagine someone like Tom Hardy being in the MCU. It just like that just seems like that's like Christopher Nolan directing an MCU movie. It doesn't seem like in the realm of possibility. So great choice, but I don't think that would ever happen. But then we also have Colin Farrell, even though he is, the Penguin and Sergeant Rock, if that ever comes about. But for an MC role, I think he could do it. I think he would be a little bit too old, but I think he could definitely do it. Jason Statham, if you go for older, I mean, if you don't want a Ghost Rider who can act, then sure, he would be. I'm Ghost Rider. I'm I with my fiery stare, I kill your soul. Anyway, whatever it is, Timothy Oliphant. I know you were joking, but Timothy Oliphant as Ghost Rider would be awesome, and he could 100% fucking do it, especially after Justified. He could definitely do it. I know he's more known like kind of funny, but like I still think he could do it. But it's funny how Tony's great minds. He said Keanu, which I had an honorable mention, Norman Reedus, Boyd Holbrook, Travis, but I don't know who Ryan is. Who's Ryan? I don't know who that is. Were known but thought Boyd and Travis were known but not household. But I think that's good. I don't think they want a household name. I don't think they want like a. I think you mean I think I know who you're talking like Ryan H or something like that, right? I think I know who you're talking about for Ryan. But great minds, Tony. Great minds. Kyle Eastwood. I think you mean Scott Eastwood because that's unless Kyle Eastwood is someone I am not aware of. He is a considering Kyle Eastwood is a bassist and film composer. I think you mean Scott Eastwood, who is also because Kyle Eastwood's also the son of Clint Eastwood. So I think you mean Scott Eastwood. I could see it. I considered him, but then I'm like, not quite. He doesn't have the face for it. Yes, Norman, Charlie, and Austin all play bikers. Norman is too old now. Dominic Sessa. I don't know who that is. I'm gonna look that up real quick. Oh, he's the guy from the Holdovers. No, I don't see it at all. Charlie Hunnam. Ironic how you all were talking about Charlie Hunnam, and I eventually included him in the honorable mentions. And then Corey Milcreast, if you go younger. Now, I don't know Milcreast. He kind of looks like discount Jacob Elordi, and the only thing he's done is the god awful Queen Charlotte spinoff. So I think I'm okay. I'm good. But so he's biked out. Ryan, fuck no, and plus he's Deadpool. What? He's Deadpool, you know. But yeah, he was supposed to be in the Acolyte, and then he was like, "Nah, fam, I'm gonna be in Sonic," and he's like, "Correct choice." Um, but Sean Penn, maybe like 20, 30 years ago, I could have seen it, and if he was willing to do a comic book movie. But hey, his newest movie had him getting a boner for no fucking reason, so maybe he isn't past stupidity for that. Um, Later M2G. Gosling, too good, but I could see it. Yeah, Scott Eastwood is who I was talking about. These names elude me. Ronnie Radke, Corey Feldman, and Neil Breen would be the greatest choice for Ghost Rider, hands down. Perfect. Perfect, Caleb. Perfect. But obviously we're not quite done yet because we still have Tier List Tuesday to talk about with these horrible choices. So let's get into that now. So this is our Tier List Tuesday. So the new Bold Sean Bean boner. Yeah. So these are our choices: is Lex Luthor actors, which would be a fun one, Gareth Edwards movies, 10 best Thanksgiving movies, and 10 best Where are you getting these choices, Dan? Where are you getting these choices? Honestly, I could see Dev Patel as Ghost Rider, but I don't think he would be wanted because of people are racist. So, you know, um, So here's the problem with nice chat GPT Dan. David Johnson, no, I can't see it. Plus, I think he's a little bit too young. But here's the problem with 10 best things. There hasn't even been 10 Thanksgiving movies in existence, let alone to rank them. The only ones that were made are Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, Thanksgiving, and Home for the Holidays. And that's it. Those are the only like 3 Thanksgiving movies. And I haven't even seen 2 of them. I don't know. You have to ask Dan this one because Thanksgiving 3 is peak. I haven't seen any of the Thanksgiving movies, even though it is my Facebook profile picture, because like I know the idea of Thanksgiving and it's just ridiculous. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. The real Thanksgiving. Having Alex, I mean, you have Michael Rosenbaum, who's considered the best. I mean, Gene Hackman's great. John Shea, I've heard is fantastic, or John O'Shea. I've heard his family scene at camp. Yeah, that's the best Thanksgiving movie. Justin Gareth Edwards. This is like the Doom guy meme where it's like, where the fuck is John Lennon? Wow. I meant future onward. Um, but yeah, so this go pick whatever you want to fucking pick. Please pick Lex Luthor actors because this is a terrible fucking poll. Back with pillow to Dan for that. Yeah, go kill Dan for that. That's fine. But yeah, go have a case for that poll. Recommend stuff for Fancast. Sorry, this was a rather quick Fancast Friday. It's just like I didn't have a ton to say about all these guys. I don't know a ton about Ghost Rider. I thought because it was made for the horror brackets for like October, because he's like kind of a horror character, and I think he could be cool to use. So Gareth Edwards, he did Rogue One, the first Godzilla movie. He did a movie called Monsters, and a couple other movies that I don't remember. Um, wow. But yeah, that seems to be it. Thank you, Enterprising. I appreciated that. But yeah, that seems to be it. I'm just trying to grab the right thing. But thanks for watching, guys. Very it's not, but sure. He was a higher job for that. I don't blame him for that. He's a good director, but like, what? But make sure to hit the like button. Make sure to do all the things. We are here 5 days a week, but we're not going to be seeing you until Monday. So I will do the fucking poll next time. I have had great suggestions for the poll. Fight for justice, do all the things, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, do all the things. Did you agree with our picks? Did you not agree with our picks? Have a wonderful weekend. Have a wonderful rest of your day. We'll be back on Monday, and remember, as Ron said, and remember,